Welcome to another episode of Commercial Breakdown. I'm Steve King. That's Michelle Hickey. Today we are talking about a commercial that I think is closely associated with the 90s, kind of like the Sears air conditioner commercial. We've done an episode on that once already. This is another one of those commercials that when you think about it, you are transported back immediately to the mid 90s, sitting on your couch, watching Nickelodeon. I'm talking, of course, about the original Rosetta Stone, Muzzy.
Bonjour, je suis le grand Muzzy.
Je suis la jeune fille.
Yes, that's French they're speaking. And no, these children aren't French. They're American. And they've acquired their amazing new language skills from Muzzy, the remarkable new video language program for children developed by the British Broadcasting Corporation. With this unique BBC language course, children learn a second language with incredible ease. 4 delightful videos quickly become their favorite TV show and teaches children the same way they learned English. Learning another language becomes fun. You'll be amazed when your children begin speaking and understanding their new language from the very first day through this unique method. The entire course, 4 videos, 2 audio cassettes, the activity book, and the parent's guide and answer book is available in French, Spanish, Italian, or German.
To order, use your credit card and call this number. We'll ship and charge you $28.08 a month for 6 months. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call 1-800-424-0700.
So as an adult, my first thought of watching this is Betty White really gets around because that's about the closest Betty White ringer I have ever seen. Serious doppelganger action going on. No, of course it's not Betty White, but look like her.
Do you think that, like, in the casting description, it was like someone who is Betty White-esque, and this is who they landed with?
That's who they ended up with. She's like a cross between Rue McClanahan and Betty White.
Yes.
Like she's like the perfect mix between Blanche and Rose in the Golden Girls.
I mean, you know the show better than I do, but
I felt like that was a subtle dig that you just made against my love for the Golden Girls, but I will let it slide.
I just wanted to make it clear that between the two of us, you're the one who is more into the Golden Girls.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
everyone
But
knows.
between the two of us, the one that's better with languages from other countries would be you. So this kind of fits your wheelhouse pretty well.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I took French starting in middle school. Can you speak French at all? Did you take French or Spanish or something else in school?
I took 5 years of Spanish from 8th grade through my senior year. And I was in honors Spanish from 9th grade on. And I remember, and my mother was a Spanish teacher for 25 years of her life. And I remember maybe about 3 or 4 words or phrases that it got me through enough communication on my honeymoon when we went to Mexico. But that's about the extent of what I remember. I actually can recite the French alphabet before I could recite the Spanish alphabet, like this day.
And you learned that from your mom or from
I learned the
school?
French alphabet when I was in 6th grade. For us, it was like a half a year, but I can remember the French alphabet better than I can remember the Spanish alphabet.
I don't think I know either alphabet. It sounds like both of us could have benefited from Muzzy. Maybe.
Well, we'll find out at the end of this. So right off the bat, I think it's a family that's sitting down and watching these language tapes, and they're cartoon characters. And the line that everybody remembers from this, if you grew up watching this, is the little girl who looks at her brother and says, "Zishwin what is it again?" You
I think she
better than I
says, "Je suis une jeune fille." I am a young girl, who
Zishwin.
I'm
Yeah. Okay.
dressed as today.
Now, I always thought growing up that she was repeating whatever the hairy monster, which, by the way, when you really want kids to learn something, put a terrifying hairy monster in the product. But that's not at all what happens. He says something completely different. In fact, I'm not convinced that he didn't say like he mumbled basically through his line. Like you heard the Zishwin and then it trails off after that. And then she just proudly steps up and says, Zishwin la jeune fille. I'm butchering that for anybody who knows French. I'm sorry. And that's the pitching point right there. That's the sale point for this video. And I'm not convinced that she actually either said what he said or that he actually said anything.
Yeah, enunciation is not a hallmark of this program. And I think that we really know that there's a disconnect here when the Betty White lookalike woman has to kind of clarify for us, like, yes, that's right. They're speaking French.
Yeah. These kids aren't French. They're American. Somehow I figured that out. Somehow I figured that out.
But again, there's so much complexity in this product because she says they're speaking French, but like they're American, and this product is presented by like BBC. There's a lot of countries involved. This is like a big
it's the United Nations of language learning here. But can we stop for a second and just talk about how our Betty White lookalike here just very calmly walks onto the screen, just hanging out in this family's home, just unsuspectingly behind them while she's sitting on the couch. I mean, I know this is a language product, and I get what the intention is of this, but like even at the age of 7 or 6 watching this, I was left with the thought of, why is this woman in this family's house?
And no one flinches. Nobody looks up. And they're like, these people are like buying this British product to learn how to speak French from a monster and have no problem with strange women just walking through their living room.
And watching this back, when Betty White talks about how it's the winner of the Parents' Choice Gold Award, do you notice that there's a grammatical error in Parents' Choice where they go parent apostrophe S as if it's like one Parents' Choice Award? It's just the irony of this being a language tape, and yet the grammar part of it of the graphics are all screwed up.
Oh, that is not a point in their favor at all.
No.
You know who doesn't get a lot of love in this video is the little brother. I kind of feel bad for him. The big sister seems to be kind of dominating this commercial, and she's bragging about all the things she can say. Not only we learn later on in the commercial that she can also count to 3, and meanwhile, like, the brother can't get a word in.
Yeah, he gets very excited at one point in time at something that he sees on the screen, and he kind of reacts with like this is pretty cool. And then they just kind of gloss over that. Like, they don't even go back to him. A moment consistently throughout this commercial that is not understated whatsoever is the actual product placement of the Muzzy case that I assume all the videos and audio cassettes and all the things that come with it comes in. Immediately in the beginning of the commercial, you see it like in the background, just kind of like standing upright, like next to the television set, like, all normal families do when they're watching a video cassette. They just, make sure everyone can see it. But throughout the whole commercial, you get like a tight shot of the little girl or the brother, and like right behind their shoulder is the Muzzy thing just standing around. Like, subtlety was not the name of the game for this commercial.
Clearly, these are like the most well-behaved, neat little wannabe French children of all time, because my house, friends' houses, cousins' houses growing up, like, there would be tapes missing. Someone would have stepped on the case and it would have been all smushed. Yeah. Like, there's no way that the fact that it's like propped up is like one thing, but like it's completely intact. It does not look like they've even opened it.
Yeah, I had video cassette boxes that were for other videos that I had like duct taped over like what I was storing in that sleeve moving forward. Now, like, no, this is not NBA Jam's 1995. This is this is actually Mario Brothers now. Pay no attention to the cover of the box. There's no way that was, that this thing was in one piece in an American house. That's where I debate the fact that these children aren't French, they're American. I believe you, but not in the condition of this box.
No way. Steve, do we have an exact date of what year this commercial ran or years that it ran? Or we just think it was sometime in the 90s?
I guess it'd be somewhere in the early to mid 90s.
Okay. Because this is like not inflation. I don't know if you caught this or not. Very subtly, the cost of this program, I know there's a lot included, as Betty White tells us, but it's $28.08. I don't know how they got to this number, $28.08 that you make 6 payments of. Now, I'm not that good at doing math on the spot, but even like today, that sounds like a ton of money for something like this, for like a kid's educational program. that's like not for professionals. This is just like for kids to use at home. And this looks like a pretty normal, modest family.
Yeah, if you're paying that much money for that product, like you better get results.
I think at that point, it's like you might as well invest in a trip to France and just do it the right way.
Right. Yeah. Forget
the
Muzzy.
tapes.
Just hop on the plane. I feel like that's another defining moment of my childhood is like commercials with like the blue sale screen at the end of it. Like you don't see that really anymore. They've changed the way it looks now, but like every commercial that sold something that required you to pay over the phone or whatever or by mail, like had this ending colored screen to it, almost like the Jeopardy,
Yeah, it
the
is
Jeopardy
Jeopardy
background
blue.
with the clues on it. Yeah, it is, right. And that's something that you just don't see it anymore.
But I have to say, like, as someone with a graphic design background, I'm pretty impressed at like the amount of information that they're able to fit on that screen. We couldn't really pause TV back then, so you had to be able to get that information down really fast. It's just, it blows my mind that like anyone sold anything in this manner during
That
this
is a
era.
that is a great point. It's something that I didn't think about. Like you couldn't really, unless you were recording this on a VHS tape, like you couldn't rewind live TV, couldn't pause anything. So like if you didn't get the number for whatever reason, like you had to wait for the commercial to come back on again to get the number.
Yeah, so this is like you as a kid watching Nickelodeon, they're expecting you to get really excited by seeing Muzzy and Le Jeune Fille learning to speak French, and you go and grab your mom and tell her to grab a pen and write down this number and get your credit card out to make 6 payments of $28.08. I can't believe that unfolded ever.
That's a lot of work in
It
30
is.
seconds.